What's up, guys? Welcome back to Rebirth. Just wanted to take a moment to talk to you guys because I know I haven't talked to you guys in a little while. And what I want to do today is take you guys down memory lane with me. I told you guys earlier today that up until my 20s, I was afraid of the dark. And it wasn't that I was terrified of the dark. I was just afraid of the dark because of some of the things that went on in my early childhood. Some of the experiences and some of the things that I've seen. Everything that I'm going to tell you guys today and in the future about some of these things that I've seen and encountered in my life. I call it Angels and Demons because that's what it specifically led to. Either it was an angel or a demon that I was involved in. And I know that sounds far-fetched and I know it sounds strange to you guys, but these are true stories. I'm not embellishing and I'm not lying to you guys. I'm telling you the truth as I remember them. So years ago in my early childhood, I don't remember how old I was, but I must have been pretty young because we lived on High School Street. It's the street down in Germantown in Philadelphia. It was a 3-story house, an old house, and that house always was eerie to me. I'm not saying that I was scared in it, but I had my fears, but I had my parents, I had my siblings, so we were a tight family and we were always around each other, so I was rarely alone. I was afraid later on in my life when I was alone because of some of the things that went on in my early childhood and some of the things that I seen, some of the crazy and supernatural things that I seen. So on this particular night, I never forget it because it was in the middle of the summer. It was a beautiful night, and we were asleep, and I remember being woken up out of my sleep. So the house was 3 stories. Let me explain that to you. It was 3 stories, and the 2 bedrooms on the top floor were unoccupied. One of the rooms was our toy room. Every night we would have to clean up our toy room. We had certain chores. My mother ruled our house with an iron fist. She taught us a lot of discipline, and I thank her to the day for how I am in terms of discipline. But back when we were younger, we had chores, and we had to clean up our toy room. So we had a big toy chest, and we had so many toys. She gave us the best of everything. So we would have to clean up the toys and put them in the toy chest and then get ready for bed. So this particular night, I remember the moon was coming through the room. We had bunk beds. My brother slept on top, I slept on the bottom, and my sister slept on the other side of the room, Shubber, in her own bed. So this particular night, I got woken up by one of our toys. We had this firehouse, and the toy, you would rev it up. You would turn this thing, and it would sound like a siren, like a firehouse siren. So back in the day, they had firehouse sirens, not just sirens on the vehicles, but they had it through the house, like they would send a horn through. Well, this particular toy had that. So you would wind it up and you would hear the siren. So this night, I heard the siren going off. And it was in the middle of the night. It must have been about 2, 3 in the morning. And it's funny because to this day, I still wake up around 3 or 4 in the morning. Not as scared anymore, but still, I still do. So I remember looking up and getting up out of my bed because I was curious, like, what is going on? Why is this toy going off in the middle of the night? So I looked at my sister Shepard. She was still asleep, like nothing was going on. So, and then I looked up on the top bunk. I climbed up because they had a little ladder to see if my brother was up there. And my brother wasn't there. He wasn't in the bed. So I said to myself, my young mind said, well, he must be upstairs playing with the toy. And I'm wondering, why is he up there in the middle of the night playing with the toys? Mommy gonna kill us. So I got out of bed, I climbed down off the ladder, and I walked out the room. You had to go to the left, and then you went to the left again, and then to the right, and it was these steps. And it seemed like it was 100 steps. And of course, I was younger, so it probably seemed like it was a lot more steps than it was because I was so small. So I remember getting to the bottom of the steps, and this is a true story. It's the summer, it's hot. We had fans, we didn't have air conditioners and stuff like that back then. So I remember getting to the bottom landing and feeling really cold. It was like super chilly, and I'll never forget that because even to this day, I still get the chills when I think about it. And the moon was coming down on the steps. So the steps was bright. It was really lit up. So something told me, something in my heart and my mind was telling me, don't go up there. Don't go up those steps. But I kept hearing the siren kept going on. So I remember taking my time, and I walked up the steps, and I finally got to the top of the steps, and the door was closed. But I could still hear the siren going off. Again, in my young mind, I'm wondering, why is he in there playing with the siren? And why is this door closed? We never kept the door closed. I think even back then, even during the daylight, we were scared of the 3rd floor. But anyway, I remember opening the door, and you know how old doors are, because this house was old. And I remember it creaking open, like slowly, and opening, and the room was bathed in moonlight and starlight. It was bright, almost like daylight. And I quickly scanned the room. Let me say this. As soon as I opened the door and the door creaked open, the siren stopped. And I got this eerie feeling, I got this chill, like I'm getting it right now. Like, don't go in there. But I scanned the room looking for my brother. It was a closet to the left and a closet to the right. Nobody was in the room and all our toys was on the floor. I'm saying to myself, like, first of all, where's my brother? How did all these toys get back on the floor? We picked them up at night because we had to do them. It wasn't a joke. Like, our mother didn't play around like that. We had to do our chores and we did them. So I'm wondering, like, what's going on in it? While all this is going on, I feel this entity in the room with me. I can't see anything, just the moonlight. And I'm looking at the toy, the firehouse, and it's just sitting there. And it's not even with the other toys. All the other toys were to the left, and this toy was to the right, like it was off to the side by itself. And I got this chill. I was so scared. And something in my mind told me to back out that room. Don't turn my back on whatever is in that room. To back out. So as I backed out, I could feel the chill again on me, like something went by me, a breeze. I remember backing up and turning around to walk down the steps. And again, I'm terrified, and I don't know why. I should have backed down the steps, but you know, I'm young, like I probably would have fell. I don't know why I didn't back down the steps to keep my eye on. But I turned around and walked down the steps the regular way, and I felt this entity on me. I felt the chill on my shoulder. And I was so scared, and I wanted to scream, but I couldn't scream. I was stuck. And as I was walking down the steps, something telling me in my mind and my heart kept telling me, do not look back. Do not look back, Scooty. And as I walked, I could still feel the chill, and I could feel like the prickles on my neck. As I got down finally got to the last step, I couldn't help myself. I turned around, and I seen this shadow thing. This is a true story. This shadow thing run from the toy room to the other room. It was so fast, and it seemed like it had like a cloak or something. And I remember trying to scream, and I couldn't scream. It was stuck. I was so scared. I was frozen in place for a little while. I finally got up the nerve to walk back down my room. My parents were still asleep. I get back into my room. My sister Shepherd is still asleep, and I look up on the top bunk, and my brother's in bed like he was there the whole time. It was the strangest thing, one of the strangest things. I want to say at that time in my life, it was the strangest thing, because before then, even before then, I would see things, but nothing to that level. To this day, I wonder if that set me on my path, because a little while after that, we moved to Mount Airy, and a little while after we moved to Mount Airy, I started doing the things that would eventually lead me to incarceration and lead me into the dark, where I spent so much of my life. I'm getting a little emotional because our childhood memories, they affect us. And now that I'm doing the work to get better, I look back over my life and I know that those things, those horrible things that I've seen, and through the course of this channel, I'm going to tell you guys other stories about angels and demons, like the time I was in an after-hour club and I met somebody. And that was a terrifying experience too, also. But I met a lot of angels along the way also. But that particular night, I know that it led me into some of the things that I did in my future activities. So, you know, like I promised you guys that I would pour into you, and I would give you guys cautionary tales, and I would tell you some of the stories that led me into the dark and led me into the life that I had. I'm also going to tell you some of the things that led me out of the dark. But that story resonates with me, and I was thinking about it last night as I was walking through the work, and it just really hit me, and I just wanted to take a moment to share it with you, because there's supernatural things out there, and even to this day, I'll still see things out of the corner of my eyes. Team, that's a true story. Rebirth. Mommy, I'm on a journey. I'm on a journey. I'm on a gratitude journey. Yeah.